Hello, good morning to all. Today, let's start with the topic AC bridges. The previous class, we measured the value of unknown resistance by using DC bridges. DC bridges are mainly Wheatstone bridge and Kelvin's double bridge. Kelvin's double bridge is used to measure the small resistance, whereas Wheatstone bridge is used to measure the medium resistance. So today, let us measure the value of inductance and capacitance and related parameters such as loss factor and quality factor by using AC bridges. Okay. By using AC bridges, we can measure the value of inductance, capacitance, and loss factor or quality factor. We'll come to know these words later on. Just remember, from AC bridges, we can measure the value of inductance and capacitance. So in case of DC bridges, we are providing DC source to the bridge network. In case of AC bridges, we need to provide low voltage. Remember, low voltage, high frequency AC supply is needed. High frequency AC supply, low voltage, high frequency AC supply is needed to find the inductance and the capacitance. Here also same thing, you come to know the balance of the bridge, unbalance of the bridge. Working is similar to the DC bridges, but except the sources and detectors are different in case of AC bridges. The main source is the low voltage, high frequency AC supply is required. Then where do we get low voltage and high frequency? In your home, we are getting constant voltage and constant frequency supply. Okay, it's around 230 volt and 50 year supply is required. But here the low voltage, it's around 2 to 5 volt magnitude of voltage is required with a high frequency. The frequency will be in the range of 40 hertz to 125 kilohertz. That kind of supply is required. That's why, so to find the value of inductance and capacitance, first we have to look at these different types of sources and detectors mainly. Let us look at the term sources. So what type of sources are required? As I told, low voltage high frequency AC supply is required. Okay, so to provide that kind of supply, that kind of source, we need to have electronic oscillators. Remember, electronic oscillators. So these oscillators will provide low voltage with the high frequency. So easily the frequency can be adjustable by making use of these electronic oscillators. So frequency can be varied from its 40 hertz to 125 kilohertz. So nowadays we can vary the value of frequency from 10 hertz to 2 megahertz. Can vary from electronic oscillators. With a small power output, it has a power output of just 7 watt. Remember, range is 7 to at max 10 watt. Okay. So these kind of sources are to be applied to find the inductance and the capacitance. Now look at the detectors. What type of detectors are required? Detectors. So detectors are nothing but it's connected between the terminals B and D. So in Wheatstone bridge, galvanometer act as a detector. In case of AC bridges, there are different types of detectors are used. So first detector is vibration galvanometers. Just remember the word vibration galvanometers. And second one is headphones. And third one is amplifiers. Okay. These detectors are connected between the terminals here. If we have a bridge like this, sorry, so the detectors will be connected at this point. Okay, it may be vibrational galvanometer, it may be headphones, or it may be amplifiers. The vibration galvanometers are used for low power applications, and the frequency range is from 5 Hz to 100 Hz. And headphones are used for the frequency range of 250 Hz to 4 kilohertz. And tunable amplifiers or detectors can be used for frequency range of third one, frequency range of 10 Hz to 100 kilohertz. Depending upon the applications, we used to take these headphones. Okay, we'll come to know these details as we move on. So before finding the inductance of any circuit, first we need to understand the general equations for bridge balance. What would be the general equation? So in Weismann's bridge, we got the balance equation. So R equals to P by Q into S. So what kind of equations will be there when the bridge is balanced in case of AC bridges? So that we will study here. So write the heading, general equations for AC bridge balance. We'll take the new window, we'll study there. Okay. I do general equation for bridge balance. General equation for bridge balance. Underline the word. Okay, build on simple bridge network. Remember, each bridge is having an impedance here. Okay, it may be the bridge may be having resistance, inductance, and capacitance, or it may be having resistance and inductances. Okay, so in general form, we represent each R by an inductance. Okay, so we'll draw the bridge network here, AC bridge network. Okay. So impedance is represented by this box. Draw the bridge network properly. Okay, so the terminals remain same. It's A, it's B, C, it's D. Between A and C, we have power supply. It's AC power supply. Remember, AC power supply represent like this. AC power. It's a source. Source, as I told it should be low voltage and high frequency. Okay, the first R is having the impedance. I will represent impedance by Z1. Take another color. Okay, Z1, and the second arm, this arm AD, it is Z2, and third is this one, it's Z3, it's Z4. Okay, and current flowing through the first terminal is I1, and current flowing through the second terminal is I2. This is I2, and current flowing through the third is I3, and current flowing through this is I4. Okay, and between the terminals B and D, we have the detector. Okay, right. The condition for balance of the bridge requires that. Wait a minute. Okay, right. The condition for balance of the bridge requires that there should not be any current flowing through the detector. There should not be any current this network in this branch. Okay, so the potential difference between the terminals B and D should be same. There should not be any current flowing through the detector D. Current should be zero. The condition for the balance of the bridge requires that there should not be current to the detector. This requires that the potential difference between the points B and D should be zero. Should be zero. Remember, when we have same potential, then the bridge is balanced. So what we have for balance of the bridge, when the bridge is balanced, when the bridge is balanced, so voltage VAB, this voltage VAB equals to what? VAD, right? So current flowing through the VAB is I1 and impedance of that branch is Z1. So I1 Z1 equals to current flowing through the second branch is I2 and impedance is Z2. We have equation number 1. So similarly, when the bridge is balanced, we have VBC equals to VCD. Similarly, that is, I will write I3 into Z3 equals to I4 into Z4. This is equation number 2. Right, from equation number 1 and 2, if we divide equation number 1 by 2, so that will be Z1 by Z3. Because when the bridge is balanced, I1 equals to I3 and I2 equals to I4 when the bridge is balanced. Okay, so I1 by Z1, I1 Z1 divided by I3 Z3. So as I1 equals to I3, it will be Z1 by Z3 equals to Z2 by Z4. Divide equation number 1 by 2. Okay, so therefore, or you can write it as Z1 Z4 equals to, it is Z2 Z3. It's the most important balance equation in case of AC bridges. Remember this equation. Always it is applicable for any AC bridges. Okay, or it is in terms of impedance, or if we write in terms of admittance, admittance is nothing but 1 by Z, or Z equals to 1 by Y. So it will be Y1 Y4 equals to, it is Y2 Y3. Okay, so look at the equation. What we got for a balanced bridge circuit, Z1 Z4 equals to Z2 Z3. That means when the bridge is balanced, the above equation, that is a balanced equation of the bridge, is the product of the impedance of one pair of opposite arms. This Z1 into Z4, product of opposite arms, product of the impedance of one pair of opposite arms. So that must be equal to the product of impedance of the other pair of opposite arms. So Z1 Z4 equals to this Z2 Z3. That is the balance equation. I will write once again. Z1 Z4 equals to, it is Z2 into Z3. Right. So once you got this equation, so we can easily find any unknown parameters in any of the uh, bridge networks. Okay. So further, if you write these equations in terms of rectangular or polar forms, that can also be possible. So I written Z equals to, Z is the impedance of the network right here. So Z is the total impedance of the network. So that can be written as Z equals to Z of theta, Z with angle theta, where Z represents magnitude and theta is the phase angle of the complex impedance. Phase angle. Okay. So what we have equation, it is Z1 Z4 equals to, it is Z2 into Z3. So you can express in terms of polar form. will be Z1 with an angle of theta 1 multiplied by Z4 with an angle of theta 4 equals to Z2 with an angle of theta 2 and Z3 with an angle of theta 3. Okay, so once you solve this, it will be Z1 Z4 with an angle of theta 1 plus theta 4, that is equal to Z2 Z3 with an angle of theta 2 plus theta 3. Okay, or you can express in terms of rectangular form. Z1 will be R1 plus JX1, Z2 will be R2 plus JX2, this is in rectangular form. Z3 will be R3 plus JX3, Z4 will be R4 plus JX4. We substitute in this equation, so what will get? So R1 plus JX1 is Z1 multiplied by Z4. It's R4 plus JX4 equals to Z2 is R2 plus JX2 into Z4 is R4, sorry, Z3 is R3 plus JX3. Okay, so after equating the real and the imaginary terms, multiply these two terms here. After equating the real and the imaginary terms, you can find the value of resistance as well as inductance or capacitance. Remember, so this is what the calculation of inductance and capacitance through AC bridges. Okay, thank you.